Hey guys, welcome back to the Crafty Home. Today I am excited to share with you how to make YouTube channel art. I spent all day yesterday and a good portion of today creating my own channel art. I'm really late to the game. I have like 35 videos up and still haven't even done this part yet. But it's all kind of a slow learning curve for me, and I'm just trying to get things done as I can. And so yesterday I was able to spend some time working on it and creating it. And today I want to share with you how I did that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started.
So the first thing I did, and probably the first thing you're going to want to do, is try to figure out a sort of theme or color scheme that you want for your channel art. So I went through Pinterest and just looked at a couple different things. This is what I landed on for my color scheme, so that's what I'm going to work with today. The next thing you're going to want is the app Canva, or you can use their website, but this is what we're going to use to create it. The first thing you're going to want for your design is some sort of a background. There are a couple different places you can get free backgrounds. The first is Pixabay. I really like this website for copyright-free images, so I'm just typing in background here. If you have something specific you're looking for, maybe watercolor or clouds or flowers or whatever, you can search whatever you want and then just pick something that you like. So here I'm just choosing a watercolor backdrop. I'm going to hit free download, and then I'm going to hit download again. Click I'm not a robot, download, and then you are going to hit download once again. Up at the top, hit the little arrow that's pointing down, click your download, and then you're going to do this square with the arrow pointing up and click save image, and this will save it to your photos. So when you go into your photos, you will be able to see it with all of your other photos. So this is how you can access it. Another website that is great for copyright-free images is pexels.com. Same thing, type in background or whatever specifically you are looking for. Try to find an image you like, and then you will choose that image. For this example, I'm going to choose this blurry light photo. Click on free download, download, again, the arrow pointing down. Click on the download there, click the square with the arrow pointing up, and save it to your images. The next thing you're going to do is open up your app Canva, or you can go to this just through your web browser. You are going to select Create a Design on the left-hand side, and you want to do custom dimensions for this. Your dimensions are going to be 2560 by 1440. This is what dimensions YouTube gives you for the channel banner. When Canva first pops up, it will pop up with a bunch of templates that you could use to do your design. That is not what we're going to use today. If you go down on the left, there is a selection called backgrounds, and this is another spot that you can get more free backgrounds if you don't want to use the two websites that I mentioned. But right now we're going to go ahead and use camera roll. I already chose a background that I have saved previously, and so I'm going to select that, and then it's going to pop up on my screen. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and size it and position it where I want it. Next thing I'm going to do is add my text. So I'm going to choose text on the left, add a heading, and then I'm going to type any words that I'm going to use. I am going to type these things out separately because of the way I'm going to space my design. So the and home are going to be spaced out across the page, so I'm typing those in separate text boxes. I'm also going to type the letters out separately for Craf-T because I'm going to make each of those a separate color. And so you'll see I'm going to do C by itself, R by itself, A by itself, etc. And that will give me the ability to design each letter in the colors that I want. If your design does not call for different colored letters or large spacing in between your words, there's no need to type out your words in separate text boxes. This is just what I had come up with after a long time of playing with my design. So these are kinds of things to consider when you're creating your art. The next thing I'm going to do is select the word the and home together because I want these to be the same font. If you double click on words or select and just hold, it will let you select more than one thing at a time. So I'm going to go up to the top bar, click the font, and then choose the font that I want. And I'm going to do the same thing with these individual letters down here and the word crafty. I'm going to select all the letters and then I'm going to hit done on the elements selected in that bar, click the font bar, and then choose the font that I want. When I have all these selected, I'm also going to choose to duplicate this. So I'm going to go to these three little dots up at the top right hand corner and choose duplicate. And then I'm going to click the font right below this Husar, I'm not even sure how it's pronounced, but I'm using both of these fonts in this creation. The next thing I'm going to do is start working on the colors. So I'm going to select all the letters of Craf-T and I'm going to go up to this A with the rainbow underneath it at the top, and I am going to select the color white. Next, for my design, I want all of these little outline letters to be a different color. So this here is my color palette I showed earlier. I'm going to choose one of each of these colors for each of these letters. So I'm going to select the letter, go up to the A with the rainbow underneath it, and I'm going to pick a color from the default colors. If I don't like the color that is specifically in the default colors, you can select the color and then choose this rainbow block up at the top, and then you can move that little dot in that rectangle to get the exact shade that you want, which is what I did for the light pink. And I'll do here for the F letter as well. I'm going to go into orange, I'm going to select the dot, and I'm going to bring it over and make it just a little bit brighter, darker orange, because that's the color I want. I'm going to continue doing this until I get all the colors I want for the word crafty. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is move the letters, my white letters, into the position that I'm going to want them to be for my final design. And I'm going to do that so I can go ahead and select all of these letters, and then I'm going to size them and position them. So I'm going to select each individual letter all together, and then I'm going to take the little circle on the corner and drag it out in order to enlarge my font. Next, I'm going to do the same thing with the words the and home. I'm going to go ahead and figure out what size I want them and also the position I want them on my design. I am making sure that both the and the home words are the same font size so that it looks right across the design. Next, I'm going to select all my different colored letters, and I'm going to make those the same font size as the white letters. Now that that is done, I can move each individual colored letter over the white letter. After this, I'm going to go ahead and position the word home. Because I want that to lay over the T, I'm going to go up to this button that's called position at the top right hand corner, and I'm going to click forward until the home comes above the T, and I'm going to do the same thing with the word the. Go up to position, hit forward, forward until it's on top of the C. Now comes the fun part of adding some photos. I already had some photos picked out that I wanted to have on this, so I'm going to go over to the left, choose camera roll, and then I'm going to select the 5 photos that I want to put on here. You do not have to have photos on your banner, but if you want to, you can. Also, there are photos that you can choose from the websites I mentioned before that you could add if you want, if you don't have your own. Once the photos are added, I'm going to size them down. So keep in mind when you're designing this that only the middle third of this design will show up on your channel banner. On TVs, the entire design will show up, but on websites and iPads, just the middle third will. So that is the part that you want to focus on. So as you can see, I am just moving my photos to either side of my logo, and then I'm going to size them down, and I'm also going to select the little circle below this photo with the arrows that look like they're in a circle. If you click on that, you can drag your finger and you can tilt your photos. So that is what I am doing here. Next, I wanted to add a little bit of visual interest to my photos, so I am going to select the Elements tab on the left, and I am just going to find a square. As you can see, there's a gray square right here. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to go up to the little square that shows the color. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to change it to black. So you can change the colors to most all of the elements that you choose in this app. I'm going to size these down, and then I'm going to duplicate it 5 times, one for each picture. Then I'm going to size each square to be a similar shape and just a little bit different size to each photo. And then I'm going to tilt it and offset it a little bit from each photo. Next, I'm going to take it and move its position backward behind the photo. I'm going to do this with all 5 of the photos. So this is how I designed my channel art for my YouTube channel. It did take a lot of playing and maneuvering and kind of brainstorming or whatever, just to kind of figure out what kind of design I wanted, what kind of feel I wanted my channel to have. So that is something that you do want to keep in mind. Try to pay attention to what color palette you might want and what kind of aesthetic you might want for your channel. I wanted mine to be kind of bright and fun, so this is what I came up with. And I also wanted to go ahead and include some pictures of my home and some crafts that I've done as well, because that is some of what my channel is about. Once you're happy with your design and you want to save it, you want to go up to the top right-hand corner and click the arrow pointing down to the line, and that will save it to your iPad or iPhone. Next, I'm going to take a few minutes just to show you a few more features of this app. So we're going to do just a mock-up design using some of the features in the app. So I'm going to just add a new page to the already done design so I can show you. I'm going to go over to the camera roll, and I'm going to select one of the backgrounds that we chose in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to do the blurred lights one. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to size it to cover the entire white template. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some text. Most people's channel names is their actual name. So for example, for this one, I'm going to choose Jessica Rabbit, which is going to be my name, and I'm going to type that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another heading of text, and I'm going to do my channel description. So we'll say Jessica Rabbit's channel is about beauty, fashion, and design. The next thing I want to do is decide on my fonts. So I'm going to select my name, Jessica Rabbit, and I'm going to go up to the font bar, and I'm going to just try to look at the fonts to see what they have. So I want something that's more of a calligraphy, so that's what I'm searching. As you can see, there's a lot of fonts on this app. Anything that has a yellow crown is something that you have to pay for with Canva Pro. So if you want a free font, use the ones without the gold crowns. So I chose my font. Now I'm going to go ahead and enlarge my name. And then I'm going to go to my description, and I'm going to choose a font for that. Same thing, I'm going to go up into the font bar, and this time I wanted a modern font. It suggested that I search contemporary, so I went ahead and did that. I searched contemporary fonts, and then I'm just going to choose a font from here. As you can see, my text box is not wide enough to hold all of my words, so that little white line that's on the side of the box, I'm just going to drag that out, and that will give enough room for my description to lay in one line. The next thing I'm going to do is play with colors. So I'm going to select my name, Jessica Rabbit. I'm going to go up into that A with the rainbow underneath it, and I'm going to just try to figure out a color that I think would look nice on this design. The next thing I'm going to do is duplicate my font, and I'm going to choose a second color for this. I'm doing this because I'm going to create a shadow with this. So I'm going to drag the white Jessica Rabbit until it just looks like the blue is a shadow underneath it. Next, I'm going to do the same thing with my description. There are a million different ways you can do these kinds of designs, tons of different fonts, lots of different colors. So really, it's just all up to you. For this one, I'm going to do a white shadow underneath, and then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate my font again and try to find another color that I think would look nice on this design. As you can see, I'm just going to keep playing around with a lot of the colors. You can select your color and then choose to move the dot around to see what other colors there might be. I'm going to end up settling on black for this tutorial, but this just shows you how many different shades you can get from this app. So one of the things I wanted to show you was all the different things that you can add to your design. If you go over to the Elements tab on the left, there are literally thousands of things you can add to your design. So for example, I'm going to go into this Gradients tab, and you're going to see that there's a bunch of different designs in here, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. So for example, I'll show you one of these paintbrush strokes. Like how cool would that look underneath some wording? And you can play with different colors. You can change the colors of each of these elements to make it match your aesthetic. There's different shapes. So the brush strokes in this is just one small example of things you can add. If you have something you want to specifically search for, that is when you are going to find so many designs to add to your design. So for example, I'm going to just search beauty right now, and it's going to pull up probably hundreds of different elements that I can add to this. So the ones you want to choose are the ones that say free or just have the 3 dots on it. The ones with the crown and say pro are the ones you have to pay for. So I chose this flower, and as you can see, you can choose the colors on the flower. So just because the element comes up a certain color does not mean that that's the color that it has to stay. So I'm going to choose this purpley color, and then for the inside of the flower, I'm going to do it a lighter purple. And if you notice, this could be really cool behind a name, even to the side of a name, underneath the name. So when you're making your design, play around with all the different things you want to add and the positions you want to add them in to get the look that you're going for and the aesthetic and feel that you want your channel to have. So the last thing I wanted to talk about real fast was trying to make your name and your description stand out. So for this, I'm just going to change the blue Jessica Rabbit to black. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select this background, and up in the right-hand corner, there's this little kind of gradient box. And you want to select that, and you can actually change the transparency of your background.
Okay guys, I hope you liked that tutorial and it was helpful for you. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. I post on Tuesdays and Fridays, so there's always new things to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.